Okay, Sam, you actually got a notice and got evicted from Focus E15.
Yeah, back in August 2013, 29 of us young mums at the time all got handed with eviction notices and notices to quit because they moved people in, whilst it was still happening and stuff. So people weren't there for long enough to get
Tenancy.
well, not to get a tenancy, but to get the actual notice to quit because they hadn't been there for the 2 months, so they didn't get the notice. But they gave us all letters and stuff, the ones who hadn't been in there for long enough, and said you're not being evicted just yet because we can't, but the funding's been cut, so you will expect to be moved on. So that's what it was like for some people, but some people had the full-on eviction notices to quit because they've been there. Some people have been there for over 5 years. So it was kind of crazy for them.
You actually had an occupation, didn't you, and moved back in a bit?
Yeah, we didn't move back into the hostel itself, but when we was doing the street stall, we actually met up with someone from CARP, and that's Carpenters Against Regeneration Programme, and that's how we made the link with Carpenters Estate. And we did a lot of research work on the estate itself. It was near enough a whole year until we actually occupied, and we occupied the estate for our yearly anniversary, and that was to raise awareness because there's 450 homes that were empty on the estate, and due to our occupation, the council discussed with us and they agreed to open up 40 homes on the estate. However, the tower blocks are still empty, so that leaves 410 homes that are still empty. But the people that moved in, they moved them in with no support. They were on temporary accommodation, rolling contracts. So it was very, very insecure and stuff like that. So that's the way they worked it. So we're housing people, but yeah, no one's in a secure home. 2 years, near enough 2 years on from it. We're still out here on the street stall doing what we've got to do, raising awareness, trying to make everyone aware that this is actually going on. Stratford, they're trying to make it like central London. We're already in zone 2 now, do you know what I mean? And you can tell by the skyscrapers that are going up around here, everything, like even Stratford Mall's being affected because of Westfield. It's not, it may be bringing people in, but no one's really noticing, what's actually going on in the area. So,
Do you feel you've actually got to the point where you're talking to the council now, or they're still ignoring you?
they're pretty much still ignoring us. The council now, they've just recently bought back Focus E15 off of Tando Lettings, and Robin Wells himself is saying that he's bought it back for vulnerable people with mental health issues and stuff like that. And myself and Jasmine wrote a blog on our post on our website saying, was this your plan 3 years ago when you evicted us all? You stated that the building wasn't fit for anyone, let alone vulnerable people, and now you're moving people in, who are vulnerable with mental health and stuff like that. Now it's classed as a hotel and a B&B, so that's no support for anyone who's there. That's literally nothing, and they've skyrocketed the rents as well, so it's now private. Yeah, so it's just crazy what's going on in there. I recently dealt with a woman who lives in there, and her case was she's got severe mental health problems, and they tried evicting her unlawfully. Police were involved and stuff like that, and the police actually got into the housing and said, no, you can't do it, it's completely against the law. Like this officer knew a lot, and he actually helped us with the process of stopping her being evicted. That was really good, and she's still there now. But she knows it's not a permanent place. She doesn't want it to be a permanent place. It's not secure for her, and she's like with her anxiety. She never, So 3 years ago, I weren't politicised or anything like that. I was a teenager. You know what I mean? And what do all teenagers do? Go out, drink, party, and obviously, I became a mum. So I had to grow up and stuff, and then obviously all this happened with the eviction and stuff like that. So it was like, whoa, it hit me, and that's when I started educating myself, because the first person we went to see was our councillors, our Labour councillors, and our Labour mayor. And he said to us, I know exactly who you are, and it's disgusting what you're doing. not as disgusting what's happening to you, you know. And so we knew from then like who our enemy was, and from then on like we've just been targeting our Labour council, because even though we're on the Tories and stuff like that, it's this borough, and we've been consistently Labour for the past 50 years. How is that possible? You know what I mean?
So do you feel quite alienated from the Labour Party? What's going on now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think Jeremy Corbyn, like, he put his foot in it a bit, and he got the door open, and he did get quite a few people to, you know, who would never vote Labour to vote Labour because of what he was saying. But I mean, even if he was to get in, he wouldn't have caused that much of a stink. You know what I mean? They would have quieted him down. Like, he already started changing his policies and stuff like that.
So you, I mean, I rejoined the Labour Party when Jeremy Corbyn got elected, because he's from the left side, and that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
And I've got real hope in him.
Yeah.
And on the last, the People's Assembly in April, and I thought what John McDonnell said, we will give council houses back, we rebuild them.
Yeah.
I think they've got that intention. I don't think they'll be put down again.
The thing is, with that intention, they don't need to rebuild council houses. They're there.
They're there, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're there. They're just boarded up or being sold, you know, to private investors, because nobody cares about people anymore. It's all about profit. You know, they don't need to start regenerative like gentrification or anything like that. They don't need to start decanting people in order to build more council homes. They're there. You know, I mean, Carpenter's Estate, that's 410. Yeah, like you've got estates like in Barnet. You know, you've got so many estates in Newham alone as well.
Yeah.
That it's like, where are these houses? You know, because they're under the radar of being council properties now, because they've been bought off and stuff. No one knows about them. That's why private rents and stuff are going up, and that's why council houses are going down.
Yeah, earlier we were speaking to a resident outside, and she works in housing, and she said that with Sweetsway, she said that there would still actually be council housing within that. But what would
that's what they said about Carpenter's Estate.
Yeah, like, can you tell us more about that?
The plan was on Carpenter's Estate over 10 years ago now, that UCL would come in, you know, basically buy the land, demolish it, like flatland it all. 80% would be the campus site, 10% would have been student accommodation, and 10% would have been left for the residents. So that would have been private rents. None of it would have been council homes.
None of it social.
None of it.
It'd always been affordable, not.
Yeah.
So would Sweetsway not have any? I don't know if it would have any social housing.
The plan for Sweetsway was 11 affordable, no council, no social at all. I think what that lady said to us wasn't 100% true, because she worked for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Council don't like telling the truth either, but they won't tell you it's their fault.
Yeah.
They'll always pass the blame, and that's what they love to do. You know, back when we started up, it was always, whenever we'd speak to East Thames, who was our landlord at the time, it was always the council's fault. Whenever we'd speak to the council, it was always East Thames' fault. So that's why we had enough, and we got them in all together, at the housing, you know, East Thames, everyone, and they just didn't know what to do with themselves. Like it was just weird for them, because they hadn't been put in that situation before. You know, where there's actual people fighting back. And of course, I'm not being funny, I was a young mum at the time. Like, when they gave me my eviction notice, the eviction was for the 20th of October, and my due date was the 19th of October. So, yeah, you can see how stressed out that would have been. Like, and they were shocked to see people like us fighting back.
Going back to like how shocked you must have felt, and going back to what you're doing later in mental health, I have a mental health issue which I'm sorting out.
Yeah.
And housing, not having housing and security causes major mental health issues. Did you get any medication for that, or any help, or did
I'm
you just...
actually classed as being depressed right now. I'm actually on antidepressants because of my housing situation.
Yeah.
But I didn't get diagnosed till about 7-8 months ago, because I just thought it was, you know, just normal stress. Everyone goes through it, you know what I mean? But then when I actually started speaking about it, stuff like that, it was due to the fact of my housing and stuff. So, I mean, and the campaign itself, me in particular, we've been doing some research with Leeds University, and we've been doing some surveys and stuff, like with people in Newham. And the one major concern and cause from housing is mental health. It affects everyone's, like, most people I've spoke to have got anxiety, depression, they can't do anything because they don't know whether or not they're going to be in their house tomorrow.